Alright fellas, the Let's Go in Search of Wonder story event is here along with Elaine and EEVEE. Yeah, finally getting Let's Go stuff in the game. Cool. I don't really care that much, but hey, it's cool for those who are fans. Anyway, we got some missions here, specifically one mission and I guess the medal mission, but I don't know why they keep doing this thing where they only do one mission. I get that only one character is, premium characters released for this event and whatnot, so obviously, just having one mission makes sense, but you could just, for one, there's another character, the Poke Kid here, Eve. You could have made a Galar mission, because this one is normal in Kanto. You could have just done a Galar mission, right? Could have done Hop, could have brought Eve, whatever, and Eve's not actually too bad for this event. You could have done that, right? Or you could have done something with Elaine's other theme skills. You could have done, like, one main character or something, right? Like, come on. It's basic, right? You don't have to, it doesn't, I don't know. They just don't want to give us friggin' move candy coins, apparently. Yay, let's add it to the reasons that this game is going to shit. That's the Battle Challenge Round 1, I don't care. But this is the team we're going to be using here to complete that one mission. Again, Kanto and normal. Leaf fits it like a bill, right? She fits it like a bill. I don't know why they thought that we would use anyone else, right? So yeah, we're going to be using Leaf and EEVEE here, as well as the main character in Solgaleo. When it comes to the gimmicks of this event, they debuff you in terms of your attack and special attack, and they buff their own stats, and they actually hit pretty hard, so you got to be careful of that. And you have to trap or confuse them. Well, they have acute senses, so any status change will work. Trap, confusion, the most common. You could obviously do restrain, rebuff, flinching, though obviously there's the own problem with, the enemies becoming unflinched. But yeah, mostly you'll just have to have them have a status change, and you'll be good. But you can alleviate this by using the main character in Solgaleo, because for one, they hit Penny super effectively, which is great, and their Stun Steel Strike goes through all passive skills that would reduce the damage of the move, so hitting through acute sense is very, very good. And they have Impervious, to where their stats cannot be debuffed, because otherwise your offensive stats get debuffed into hell. So Impervious is vital. Leaf and EEVEE also have Impervious, so you don't have to worry about that, which is very, very nice. They also have Haze, so thankfully they are, again, immune to Haze as well. And yeah, you don't need the main character's EX and Great Expansion. You shouldn't anyway. It just does make it easier, obviously, because you do get the multipliers as well as the AoE sync move. If you do not have them EX, I would say if you have Leaf EX, then go for it. I'm using Leaf here with no grid, by the way, just so I can, establish that you only need one copy to do this. And then we're using Olivia here for defensive buffs, regeneration, as well as having Flabbergast on SmackDown. And if we're able to proc that, then we can actually do some good damage with our sync move as well with the main character. So that's very, very nice. You do not need to have, pre-sync them, but you can definitely do a pre-sync clear if you have the main character and Solgaleo EX them with the Great Expansion, but if you don't, you probably cannot pre-sync this. But it shouldn't matter anyway, because you do have a lot of healing with Leaf's potions, the regeneration, the defensive buffs with Olivia and whatnot, so you should be fine. But if you do have problems, obviously leave the comment down below and whatnot, and you should be fine. This is just one of many ways to do this. You can just pretty much center any team around Leaf and EEVEE and win. You could do Adaman, who's amazing with his rebuff. You could do someone else. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you are able to apply, account for acute senses as well as their debuffing, you'll be just fine, right? So let's go ahead and hop into the battle here, and this shouldn't be that difficult. Alright, so yeah, this battle definitely is not very difficult. We start out here by using Tackle and the main character's trainer move, as well as using Olivia's trainer move. And I'm pretty sure they start with like an X speed or something here. It's better if they do start out with using their X moves and whatnot, so you don't have to really deal with the damage as much, but they can definitely start hitting you pretty hard pretty quickly. If you are using Olivia like I am, trying to go for SmackDown as soon as possible to get Flabbergast activated is very, very useful. And also be careful of the haze, so you may not want to buff your defenses instantly. You want to may just wait until right before they use their sync move to buff your defenses, because that haze can just screw you over. Could be pretty bad, right? But yeah, we go for the Flabbergast on the middle here to try and we landed, by the way, in order to try and make it so the main character's sync move will do a lot of damage, which it does. This does a ton of damage, and if you have the Great Expansion EX whatnot, you're good. If you do not have it, this will not do too much damage. It'll do enough, right? It'll do a solid amount, but probably not enough to where you can get a good precinct clear in. So just be careful of that. This is probably a point where if you don't have the main character's Grid Expansion, or you're doing the same setup as me, whatever, then you would have to start buffing your defenses with Olivia just to make sure you can survive the sync move with relative consistency. Confusion is definitely very, very nice here as well, so you can just make the enemies hit themselves so you don't take damage, but really it doesn't matter too much. As you've seen here, we're doing fine, right? We're taking attacks just swell, and not really having to worry about them too much. Thankfully, because of the impervious, we don't really have to worry too much about the haze or any sort of debuffing. Only with Olivia, we have to pretty much worry about that, but she's actually really bulky as it is. So if you really want to, you can just start off using your defensive abilities and regeneration, and then use Protect when Penny uses her sync move, and then you'll take no damage from her sync move, and you should be able to go from there and get an easy win in. I just didn't have to do that because I pre-sync cleared her, right? So yeah, again, you gotta account for those cute senses, you gotta be careful about that. Otherwise, you're gonna be doing no damage, and they'll probably KO you, because I'm pretty sure right after Penny uses her sync move, she uses Hyper Beam, so you do want to be very, very careful of that. You want to make sure you can handle that, be at enough HP, whatever, right? So yeah, here's the grids and whatnot. It's pretty much just the DPS nuking grid for the main character. It's very generic, very basic. Thankfully, the main character can max their crit and offensive stats, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Gauge can be a little bit of an issue for this team, but really it ends up not being that big of an issue, especially if you go ahead and use Leaf's sync move, so you can get her support EX if you have her EX, as well as getting the speed buffs. But overall, yeah, that's it. That's the Let's Go in Search of Wonder Battle Challenge Round 2. Not difficult battle, not a difficult battle pretty much at all. There's a lot of ways to beat it. Steel types, grass types, even off type, it's not too bad. You just gotta account for the cute senses and the debuffs, and then you're good, right? You don't have to worry about it too much. Leaf is a pretty free option. She's a not a very strong character, but she's got a lot of good capabilities, especially with her sync move and healing ability and whatnot, gauge management. She can do a lot, and you can rely on her to handle the Kanto and normal theme skills stuff. So yeah, I'll see you all later. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and I'll see you all later.